What's happening, everybody? The Poets are hopefully doing well and staying safe. And a frequently asked question that I get is about laptops. What laptop should I buy? What laptop should I use for this or that and everything else? And there is a wide variety of styles of laptops. So recently, MSI actually sent me this. This is the Bravo 15, a very capable, and they actually call it here, true gaming laptop. Now, obviously, some things are marketing, some things are true. There are certain types of laptops that are made for a specific purpose. So when it comes to maybe productivity, you may want a laptop that has a very powerful GPU, a ton of memory, very fast processor, and it's probably going to be very power hungry as well. If you want just a general purpose laptop, it may do a lot of everything, but kind of struggle at specific things. Like if you want to do 3D modeling, they probably won't do too well. Or gaming, they may play some basic games, but not AAA titles. But when it comes to gaming laptops, traditionally there's been a trend of gaming laptops being very powerful, but also very expensive, unfortunately. This is a bit different. MSI did something kind of interesting with this laptop with an AMD processor and AMD GPU. They found a nice, I can't even call it a sweet spot because the price is right. I'll tell you about the price in a little bit, but this thing is running something that basically is very power efficient, capable, and yeah, I'm playing some of my favorite games on here for a long time just on battery as well. So let's get into this. The MSI Bravo 15. The unboxing experience is very straightforward. So one of the things that you do get, obviously you have to power this. So it comes with your pretty standard just power cable, obviously, so plugs into most US outlets. This other end though does plug into the power bank right here. All right, so it's just a 3-prong, goes right in, and you're good to go. This plugs into the laptop. It does come with this quick start guide, but I have to say when it comes to manuals, laptop manuals typically have been very sparse. This one, when you actually go to the MSI website, download it, check it out, it is extraordinarily thorough. Not only does it talk about the hardware in here, but also walks you through a lot of the how-to for navigating Microsoft Windows 11. Then, straightforward unboxing. That's about it. The laptop comes like this. For gaming laptops, one of the first things I always look for is the ventilation, because one, is this going to be a loud beast or something fairly quiet because of the ventilation? And you'll notice vents right here and here. There's also a nice sized vent right here on the side. But then on the bottom, you see all of this ventilation here, plus all these copper pipes. That's the cooling. That's what's going to be cooling the GPU and the CPU. So we're going to open this up, of course, to take a better look. And so this is actually fairly easy. You just kind of go along the sides right here after unscrewing everything, and then just pull this back toward you. Pops right off, nice and easy. And we see a lot of interesting stuff right here. Right here's your Wi-Fi 6E. We have all of our heat pipes for the cooling. Right here is our RAM, so they actually do have 2 sticks of RAM here, so 16 gigs altogether. These are replaceable, so you can go up to 64 gigs of RAM. Right here we do have our NVMe drive, and you can actually upgrade this as well. You can use plenty of different services or do it yourself just by plugging in a second drive here and just kind of moving all the data over. Disk copy, nice and simple. This is the 53.5 watt hour battery that comes with it, and you can always just take it out and replace it with a new one over time if you want to do that. We have our speakers here and here. They're kind of at an angle, but they are downward facing speakers. So depending on the surface that you actually have the laptop on will determine the quality of your audio. So far in my testing, it's been pretty adequate. If you ever need to clean these, and it's a fan with a lot of openings, so you'll definitely want to clean this with compressed air or something over time. It looks like this is going to be fairly simple to not only take apart if you want to do that, but also just squirt some compressed air in here, and you should get a lot of the gunk coming over here out of the vents. So that looks pretty straightforward. I'm really liking how much of the copper heat pipes are covering everything. So I really have no complaints about the way the motherboard looks, the layout. and the cooling. Yeah, it all looks straightforward, and yeah, let's put it back together and get to some gaming. So here we have the I/O for the laptop. So on this side, we actually have a USB 3.2 Gen 1. So we're going to get 5 gigabits per second speeds with this one. It's the blue one. The other one here is the Type A USB 2.0. So you'll use this for like a mouse, a keyboard, something that doesn't need a lot of high-speed data. But this one, the blue one, you'll definitely want to use those for like webcams or external storage that are very fast speeds. On this side of the laptop, we have a couple of things that I definitely like to see. One, a headphone jack. So you're definitely going to be using this if you're a gamer. Here we have the USB Type A 3.2 Gen 1 port, so that's going to be about 5 gigabits per second speeds you're going to experience here, as well as the USB Type C 3.2 Gen 1. So this is also going to give you 5 gigabit per second speed. So definitely your webcams, your high-speed storage, any of those devices that definitely need some high speeds. And you'll be able to plug in, say, your cell phone here and get about 15 watts of charging speeds. Or if this is just on battery, you'll get about 7.5 watts of charging speeds through that as well. Then we have the HDMI, so that's up to 4K 60 Hertz, which is pretty respectable for this, because this is a gaming laptop. So you'll probably want to be 1080p, maybe 1440p, but definitely the 1080p around this. And then we have our Ethernet. So this does have Wi-Fi 6E, but the Ethernet here is a gigabit speed. So you're going to get some blazing fast speeds out of this port right here. A big interaction with laptops is the keyboard. So I'm always looking to see if there's a lot of give. Like, is this whole keyboard flexing inward? The long answer is not really. Short answer is no. So there's just a very slight give because of the whole material of the laptop. So it's about the same throughout the entire laptop. So this actually is a very comfortable keyboard to use. I've used it for many hours at a time, and I've never kind of thought twice about the keys. They've just been a pleasure to type on when it comes to emails, Word documents, as well as WSAD for gaming. The trackpad is an okay size. This is, again, a gaming laptop. For a lot of productivity laptops, you're going to see a very large trackpad where you're going to be using it with multiple fingers. This is a gaming laptop, meaning you probably won't even be using this for hours at a time while you're using this laptop. So you're going to want to go ahead and grab your mouse pad, put it aside, put your mouse on there, and start, all the fragging that you want to do. And typically, you're going to be using these keys right here. Depending on the game, maybe a lot of the function keys. So it really depends on the game environment that you're playing in. And overall, I haven't really thought of this trackpad much. It works perfectly fine, very tactile. It's been smooth, no hiccups, no issues. I like the sound of it. Overall, I'm not using it much because I'm using the mouse for gaming. So I'm using the HDMI, which is pretty cool because now I have a second display plugged into this. Nice feature to have. And because of this CPU, which is 8 cores, 16 threads, it's the AMD Ryzen 7 5800H, this is capable for a lot of tasks, multitasking basically in the name, in my opinion. So 8 cores, 16 threads, great for gaming. Many say overkill for gaming, depending on the game. But for multitasking like Cinebench R23, editing in DaVinci Resolve, photo editing, which depending on your app could be a requirement for good single core high speed or multi-core capabilities. This is going to take care of pretty much most average workstation needs because of this 8 cores, 16 threads. A multi-core score of 12,480 points is exceptional for a laptop. Running Cinebench R23 is a great example of how loud your laptop may actually get. This one was actually very quiet on full load with the CPU. The CPU also only hit 85 degrees Celsius, as you can see here in Hardware Info 64. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the full load audible levels of this laptop. Now when it comes to gaming, there are a lot of options out there. Some people like their RTS games, their card games, first-person shooters, space sims, just, there's tons of games out there. This one in particular is one I know very well. It's called PlanetSide 2. It's a bit of everything. First-person shooter. You can also get into vehicles, drive around, fly around, build bases. It's got everything that just does it for me. And because I've been playing this for so long, I really understand what the colors should be, how smooth it should be. And with this display, it's an IPS panel, 1080p. It does do 144 hertz, which is really nice. And with PlanetSide 2 being something that needs to be very fluid because you're trying to get those headshots, you're trying to kill somebody before they kill you, basically. That's very important to have the highest FPS possible. So with this 5800H CPU, 8 cores, 16 threads, it's handling this game very nicely. Plus the 6500M GPU, I'm enjoying it. That's all I can really say. This is smooth as butter, and this laptop is not all that loud at all. It's actually pretty darn quiet for playing a game basically almost at full settings right now. So I'm happy. Let's move on to the next game. Now, gaming always has its trends. It has its hot games of the hour. Right now, it's Diablo 4. This is a game that is taking up a lot of my, I'll just say a lot of my free time, which isn't much. But when I do have some free time, it's been Diablo 4. This thing is so fun. The lighting is highly impressive. I'm just enjoying just running around as my necromancer, seeing everything, doing everything. Very high FPS, and this actually runs on the battery as well. So I was outside by the swimming pool today, just enjoying the beautiful LA sun, and there were some things that I noticed about this laptop while playing Diablo 4. When I'm in the shade, because this is a very dark game, I could still see. I could still enjoy this game, and the frame rate was very respectable, no issues. But when I got into that LA sun, because this is a very dark game, it was still playable, but just not as enjoyable. So if you are in a very sunny, very bright environment and playing a dark game like Diablo 4, you may struggle a little bit. It is still playable, but you know that there's reasons. You're in direct sunlight playing a dark game. Other games like PlanetSide 2, perfectly fine. World of Warships, perfectly fine in direct sunlight. So that was nice. This display is not very reflective at all. That's another key point about this display that I really do enjoy. I've tested a lot of other laptops, and some of them are almost like a mirror. When you're in the sunlight, you're basically staring at your own face because it's a reflection. You don't get any of this with this panel. This IPS panel is doing a very good job of just showing you the screen, and basically when there was a big bright sun right here shining on the display, it was just a little bit of a glare. It wasn't bad at all. So very, very good for just overall gaming in direct sunlight, but try to stay in the shade. Now, for all of my long-term viewers out there, I know, I already hear you. Yeah, you've seen a few games now, but can it run the game, Star Citizen? Well, yes, it can. Honestly, that impressed me. Yeah, it's running Star Citizen. And so for those that don't know, Star Citizen is a game that's in alpha development. So it's a playable alpha. It's not really out on shelves yet, but yeah, you can download it, you can enjoy it, and it's basically the primary game that I play. I love it. It's very demanding, and I'm very impressed that this MSI BRAVO 15 can run Star Citizen. So this is something I would probably recommend. I do like it, especially because of the price point. I did mention in the beginning of this video, I'd mentioned the price, and this thing is jumping around. You know, you can get it for maybe $700 or $900 depending on the sales that are happening right now. So I'll just put a link in the description below so you can check that out. And yeah, this is getting 2 thumbs up from me. So good job, MSI. The Bravo 15 is well done. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Take care. Peace.